So welcome everyone. My name is Bill Coletti with Geopolitical Futures, joined today by Jacob Shapiro, the lead analyst for Geopolitical Futures. And we want to have a quick 3-minute conversation about ISIS. Jacob, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Jacob, what's your general assessment of the state of play of ISIS as we begin 2016?
I think one of the differences in our assessment at Geopolitical Futures of the Islamic State versus other assessments is that we treat the Islamic State as a state. They control a core area of territory in the Syrian desert from the city of Raqqa to the city of Deir ez-Zor, and they're able to move fluidly throughout other areas throughout the region. But at the end of the day, we see them defending a core territory. We see them getting most of their money not from oil sales or things of this nature, but from actually taxing the people that are under their rule. Their military behaves much more like a military that is defending core territory than it is some sort of guerrilla force that blows things up in one place and then rapidly moves to another.
The media, particularly here in the United States, has kind of hyped up ISIS and made them seem perhaps something more than they really are, and certainly an incredibly brutal player in Middle East politics. Is that your assessment, is that the brutality of ISIS has increased here recently?
I think that ISIS has been pretty consistently brutal from the start. I don't see that their brutality has increased in any meaningful way. I will say that the Islamic State has taken they've taken some losses in the last couple months. The international community has definitely tried to take the fight to ISIS. For us, though, despite the fact that the Islamic State has lost some territory in Iraq, most of the territory that they have lost was not crucial to defending its core resources. When we look at the Islamic State, we see that they are willing to give up territory that is not strategically significant so that they can pull back to better defensible positions to defend that core that I was talking about. So on the one hand, yes, the Islamic State, I think, is very it's a very powerful entity. It's behaving like a small state in the middle of Syria, and I think every day that it's there, it gets more entrenched. The flip side of that is that people are becoming more aware of that and people are attacking them more seriously. But thus far, I don't see a fighting force on the ground with the will to actually go in with soldiers and get the Islamic State out of its territory. So for now, I think the Islamic State is holding pretty firm in its stronghold. And
you believe that that's what is required in order to truly defeat ISIS, is ground troops that truly sort of get them out of from the territory that they hold?
Well, in that sense, we're talking about two different things. In terms of the physical entity, yes, airstrikes can be very effective and airstrikes can greatly weaken them. But ultimately, either you have to go in and get them out, or you have to be able to take enough strategic territory so that you can cut them off and essentially build a siege around them so that they'll eventually collapse on themselves. The other part of the Islamic State, though, and arguably the part that is more dangerous, is that the Islamic State is also an idea. And no number of soldiers or troops or airplanes is going to be able to kill the idea that the Islamic State has created. So even if you were able to go in with a massive military force and take out the Islamic State, the ideology would move and people would move and escape and try and set up new Islamic State colonies, for lack of a better word, with that ideology. So it's very hard to actually get at the root cause without fixing some of the basic problems of the Middle East, which is a whole nother conversation.
Excellent. And we'll save that for next time. Jacob, thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
Thanks.
All right. Talk to you soon.